2 months after coming to Skyhome, none of what I'd lived felt real. My dad would always be dead. Chloe would always be dead. Bunker 108, along with most every other bunker, was offline and gone. The new players were the raiders, the gangs, and the empires fueled by slavery and blood. And if we couldn't stop the xenovirus and the voice, they wouldn't matter either. When we returned to Earth, it would be for more than mere survival. Our mission was to save a planet doomed to die. The coming mission was the only thing I could focus on. It was a way to not dwell on everything I'd lost. Together, the mission had become our focus, our obsession. Everything else had been put on hold until we finished it or died trying. Samuel had said Ragnarok was only the beginning, and I was coming to realize what that beginning actually meant. Everything would become twisted by the blights, preparing the way for xenofall. No one knew when the xenos were coming or what they would be like, but we knew that they were advanced enough to have sent an asteroid hurtling toward Earth. It was only a matter of time until everything was controlled by the xenovirus, and through the xenovirus, the voice. Every day, Ashton and Samuel conferred for hour after hour, trying to hash out a plan that would succeed. These conferences were private, so Makara, Anna, and I found our own ways to fill in the time. I worked out, ate, watched movies, ran, and helped out in hydroponics 4 hours a day. Still, finding those black files had opened up a lot of questions when we had expected answers. We knew the voice was coming from Ragnarok Crater in a series of low-frequency sound waves, and that the xenofungus was using them to communicate to all life forms under its thrall. Anything infected with the xenovirus would listen to the voice's directives. All xenolife behaved as if of one mind, so something was controlling it. If we killed that something, it could spell the end of the invasion. Well, this part of the invasion anyway. The black files still stated that xenofall was coming. I assumed it would be some sort of ship or perhaps a whole interstellar armada. When they arrived, they were probably expecting to have a planet tailor-made for them, covered with the blights and all resistance dead. Assuming we did kill off the voice, we still had to deal with that. We didn't know when xenofall was coming. It could be tomorrow, 1 year, or 10 years from now, or even centuries. By the end of the day, I was so tired that I usually fell right to sleep. There were times, though, when I couldn't. I suffered nightmares, dreaming of Chloe, buried alive in the dry, red sand. I dreamed of the night when it all went to hell, and the monsters were always there, surrounding me, chasing me over bleak plains and jagged mountains. When I looked down at Earth, I could see the blights festering like open sores when the blood-red clouds weren't so thick. They were only in North America for now, but according to Ashton and Samuel, that would change over the next few years. There was the rest of the world, too. The entire planet was depopulated to the same extent as America, or worse. Ashton called the 10 years following Ragnarok's impact the Chaos Years, a time when the world's population dropped from 8.4 billion to mere millions. Ashton had told me a little bit about what was going on elsewhere. In China, city-states and proto-empires fought amongst the ruins of civilization, the official government having long been dismantled. In Europe, extreme cold had completely hampered population regrowth. In equatorial regions, people were faring a little better, but a war over limited resources still consumed most of the world. Wars, I supposed, would exist so long as there were enough people to fight them. None of these people knew about the xenovirus or xenofall, and trying to communicate that through language barriers seemed all but impossible. In his first years in Skyhome, Ashton had visited different parts of the world, China, India, Russia, Japan, Africa, but always found one of two things. Either very few had survived, or there were so many survivors fighting each other that making contact was far too dangerous. Maybe the Chaos Years ended in 2040 for the United States, but the rest of the world was still living them. If we didn't succeed in stopping the xenovirus, all humanity was as good as dead, and not just humanity, but every life form that had managed to evolve in our planet's tumultuous 4.6 billion-year history.